morning, or in this case, very, very late morning power up call for myself. I'm going to check real quick, make sure the audio is working before I go too in depth with what I have to share with you guys today. And we are extremely live. It's working. The audio is good. So we're good to go. So again, we're here. We're back in home base. The time's a little bit different, but the opportunity to gather together is still the same. We're going to do these power-up calls until forever. I don't ever see an end to doing a daily live call with you guys. Every now and then there's crazy circumstances. I'm on a plane for 24 hours or something like that, but outside of some crazy circumstances, we will be having a call every day where I will continue to share with you new insights, new keys, new mindsets, new ideas that will help you as you seek to progress through this program. This is something special, right? Now, I know a lot of you guys are new to the program. A lot of you guys are new to this experience. I've been around the block for a bit. I've seen a bunch of different online groups. I've seen a lot of different places where people have tried to teach others how to make money. And I'm not trying to brag about my own work. I have put in a significant amount of work and continue to put in a significant amount of work to help each and every one of you progress. But this is special for other reasons, right? This is more than just the effort I put in. This group, this place, this experience is amazing because of the work that you guys put in and for the effort that you guys put in to create and live this experience together, right? I help with some structure. I share some content. I help motivate and teach and guide. But you guys provide a lot of the magic by just being here and working together and transforming your own lives. I go and I read the Wins channel and I see the changes that you guys are experiencing. I see the money in your bank account. I go and look at the Victory Zone and see you guys getting stronger, happier, experiencing greater and more wonderful things in your life. And it makes me smile and makes me proud. This is something special. And it's a wonderful opportunity to every day pause and all gather together for a live call where we get to kind of just celebrate that in some way and talk about cool, new, and exciting ways for you to improve your skills and go and make some more money. Today, we're going to talk about humor. Now, humor is interesting. A lot of us are naturally good at humor. We're good at like jokes. We're funny. We can be funny. Some people aren't. They're not. And I say naturally. We've learned at a young age how to communicate and how to crack jokes and how to be fun. Others haven't. But no matter what, a lot of people don't really think about humor when it's time to sit down and actually write copy. A lot of people are worried that they won't be professional if they include humor. And in some cases, that's probably true. I mean, maybe if you're writing copy for like a mortuary service or forensic accounting or something like that, you're probably not going to use as much humor as if you're, let's say, writing for the relationship space or the fitness space. However, humor is a powerful tool. Now, I'm going to say something, and I want you to think about it. Most people have no clue what humor actually is. Like we know it when we feel it. We know every so often we can get into that mode and we can share with others. But humor itself is not something that's terribly well understood. And I want each and every one of you to become more aware of humor when it occurs. I want you guys to seek out opportunities to consume some humor. There's some good stand-up comedians out there that you can listen to. Don't get sucked in the rabbit hole, but there's some good opportunities to go look and be perspicacious. Pay attention to what's actually happening and see how they're performing, how they're creating this magical experience. Because humor, we're going to talk a little bit about how to do it, but for a second, I want you to understand what humor does. Humor helps people transcend their current life and sort of gain new insights and experience a massive release of positive feelings in their own life, right? A lot of times humor can help people shift through trauma and problems they've dealt with. Humor can help teach new lessons. Humor makes things memorable. There's so many things that humor does that it's absolutely insane when you start paying attention to it. And all of these things are things that you can bring into your copy. Humor is great for grabbing attention. Humor is great for shifting beliefs. Humor is great for helping people purchase and decide to actually take action. You can weave it in throughout your copy and it can be a very powerful force. Obviously, it can't be pure humor unless perhaps you are, in fact, a comedian, but humor is a powerful tool you can use, right? It helps people disassociate from themselves, right? Most people are stuck so much inside of their own life as they live it They're purely reactive. They're purely focused on their own perceptions. That humor, what it does is it draws people out of themselves and helps people have a shared experience with others. It helps people have a shared perspective, right? When a comedian tells a joke or crafts a story, it sucks the person out of their own life and into this experience where they can experience, where they then can, inside of this story, inside of this new perspective, inside of this dialogue, they can shift their mind, right? So humor is a powerful, powerful tool, and I want you all to start paying more attention to it. And this is kind of a bigger point, and I'm gonna save this to talk tomorrow. We're gonna talk a little bit more about perspicacity tomorrow, and its importance for you as a copywriter. But pay attention to how humor works. I'm not going to give you guys a terribly in-depth formula for humor, but I am going to give you a very simple way where you can start creating humor inside of your copy in a way that can help people experience the power. You can turn humor into a tool that helps you achieve the goals that's inside of your copy. So humor really is based on a few things. One, it's about creating an experience, right? Like you're going to be telling a story, or you're going to be sharing some information, and it's going to be something that you need to make it to where it's something that people can understand, right? You can't really joke about things that are too far outside of someone's experience. You want to usually make your humor based around something that everyone inside of your audience can understand, or can at least begin to understand. That it's something called a universal, right? A moment that is universally, it's something that's universally understood. If you pay attention, a lot of comics do this, right? They might start talking about, like when you're driving down the road and, it's just a 2-lane road, but you get stuck between those two semi trucks and you can't quite get around. And maybe one speeds up a little bit and then one speeds up a little bit more. I've shared a small story, and it's not terribly specific. It's not hyper specific, but it's general enough that anyone who's driven a car on a highway can relate to it, right? They can put themselves into the story. They can disassociate from themselves and plot themselves inside of the story, right? That's the first step, is creating a moment or a place for them to associate into this experience that you're sharing. And then the other thing that has to happen to make humor actually happen is you have to break expectations in a positive way, right? People have an expectation. If I told you that story, there's sort of like an expected outcome. Maybe I'll get stuck for a while, but maybe I'll get angry or whatever, right? But if I was to shift it, and again, I'm not an actual comic, so I'm not skilled at this, but like the key would then to be to present a new angle to the story where something else happens, an outside event comes in, I react in a different way, something else happens that is outside of the norm, right? Or something that exaggerates the norm or exaggerates a particular idea, right? And this is where you would then decide your delivery. Like if you're trying to deliver a belief or a perspective, you would want this break in their expectations to accentuate that and to drive behind that. That would be kind of the, that idea would be the nail, and the humor and the absurdity would be the hammer, right? So when you're creating humor inside of your copy, find ways to get them to like sort of a universal experience that you can bring them into, something that they can nod their head along with. Like, oh yeah, I know what it's like when you get home from work after a long day, right? You can paint a universal story, and then that's when you hammer it in and you break their expectations. They have one expectation of how things are supposed to go, and you flip it the other way through conflict, through a few other tools, but you need to flip their expectations in a new way. And that's what's going to jar their mind and shock them out of their sort of common expectations and allow you to then, boom, instill some new information, some new ideas, right? That's where you can really drive desire. That's where you really can shift their beliefs. And so much of copywriting is doing that, is taking people, bringing them into a fun experience, and then shifting their minds and taking them in a new direction, right? You bring them in and then you redirect them into a new direction, right? And people can't really do this for themselves. Most people can't. Most people walk through the world and again, they're stuck inside of their own mind, and humor is a wonderful way to break them out of their current mental limitations, provide them with a new path. So what I'd like you all to do is to take some time, go do some research, go watch some stand-up comedy, go watch some comedy, and pay attention to how the humor is being created. What are the elements? What are the things that are going on? Pay attention to how this works. Learn the lessons from this experience. Pay attention to how you're reacting to the comedy, and use that information as you go out and write. Use that information as you go out and speak, as you persuade others, right? You'll find that as you do so, you'll be able to bring humor into different parts of your copy to grab attention, to shift beliefs, and to persuade someone to take action. it'll become a powerful tool for you, right? It won't just have to be something that you're just either good at or not. You can learn this skill. You can understand the elements of this part of human persuasion just by paying attention. So that's your homework. Go out, laugh, enjoy yourself, and learn from the experience, because it can become a valuable tool for you to help you persuade others to make good choices. It's been a good call. We'll do this again tomorrow, probably roughly around the same time. And until then, let's use this information, use these ideas, and go out and make some money. I will talk with you guys again tomorrow.